Hi, everybody. Shannon here. Hey, I'm super excited about this couple and the opportunity to sit down with Sheldon and Nicole of Cascade Concrete Coatings. They're in Woodinville, but what a dynamic couple. Young, vivacious, energetic, and getting after it. We're so proud of what they bring to the community and the commitment to not only excellence, but service after the fact. So get to know this couple. They are amazing and they're doing wonderful work, and what hearts they have. I hope you enjoy. Welcome everybody to the podcast. We're super excited today. We've got Cascade Concrete Coatings with us, Nicole Schuler and Sheldon Grow. The owners have agreed to visit with us a little bit, share a little bit with about their story and kind of how they got to where they are today, and some of the inspiration really behind why someone would take on the entrepreneurial journey that they have. So I'd like to welcome you guys. We're just tickled to have you here, and we'll spend a little bit of time this morning just visiting and talking about you guys, and I'll brag on you a little bit. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate it.
You bet. No, we're happy to do this. Everybody wants to know kind of how you got started, and what were some of the impetus for, why in the world would you do this? So there's lots of work that you guys could easily be working for someone else in different, right? But number one, you chose to work together, right? Kudos to you for that. Number one. Number two, why you chose the entrepreneurial route, and then specifically, why this particular profession. So talk a little bit about the genesis of Cascade.
I mean, concrete coatings, not an industry that most people are familiar with, honestly.
Sure.
Until a couple of years ago, that wasn't even on my radar personally. We've been together for quite a while. We've had many different jobs, worn many different hats over the years.
Ski instructors. I used to work in a greenhouse. Sheldon's worked all sorts of different construction jobs. So we really like to say that we were serial dabblers in all the different things, service industry, insurance, all sorts of different stuff. So we definitely got a taste for everything, and I think it really set us up for a lot of success for what we're doing today. Just because we've learned how all these different industries work, how different people react to different things, and so we've been able to pick and choose a lot of great things to bring into this industry.
Yeah, you mentioned serial dabbling, right? I love that term. I'll give you credit for it when I use it in the future with other people. But the point is sometimes just figuring out what it is that you don't want to do can be super beneficial in directing, choosing the direction you want to go.
No, of course. I mean, I grew up, my parents flipped houses ever since I was a small child, so I've been swinging the hammer, painting ever since I could walk, basically, and really enjoyed working with my hands and just like seeing projects come from where they started to the finished product at the end, and it's very satisfying, very rewarding work. And worked in the industry doing floor coating installations for a while and really enjoyed it. Thought it was great going to different job sites all the time. It's not like you're just on one job for months on end. It's a pretty quick turnaround. Most floors are a one-day project, which is in the construction industry kind of an anomaly.
Oh boy.
And, that was really exciting, just getting to see all sorts of new projects and stuff like that. Had a good idea of how the business ran, and decided we were going to do it for ourselves. We'd always talked about wanting to start something, had explored a few different avenues, and this just happened to tick kind of all the boxes of what we were looking for, and it's been a great learning experience. There's more to learn throughout the years, but things have been going great. So
the more I learn, the more I discover I don't know.
100%. Yep.
So I want to pull on that thread just a little bit, Sheldon. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 14. That's a whole different story, which we can talk about. We'll do it offline. But some of what I have found is, kind of throwing the idea out there about owning my own business, to the point where my significant other, in my case, my wife, could kind of warm to the idea, right? Because there's some unknown things in the entrepreneurial world that are very well recognized in the W-2 world where you're working for someone else.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and I mean, on Nicole's part too, is a lot of trust in me. Like, I was working in the industry. I told her all about it. I was like, I think I have a pretty good idea of how this works.
So even after being a serial dabbler, she still had this faith in you
Yeah.
to stick to something
Exactly.
and really see it through.
Yeah, and I mean, we worked really well together. Like she said, we moved to Colorado. We have a Sprinter van that we built out, and we've spent 6 weeks living together in a small van without access to regular showers and things like that. And we get along really well. If we could make it through that, we figured we could start a business together.
I love
and
that.
has held true. So,
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
Well, and I mean, just personally too, I not only really enjoyed what he was coming home and telling me about the industry, and I really loved the excitement that you had for it, and I could see your passion developing for it. And I think why we're in this relationship in the first place is we see that we have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, but when we come together, we really are able to fill in these parts for each other. And so I think this has been a perfect playing field for us to both, really lean into our strengths and come together and create something that, I wouldn't have been able to do this on my own in the same way you wouldn't have probably been able to do this without me. And just having that trust in each other, and he's had to lean on me in certain regards. So I think it's been really valuable for even just our relationship to do this.
Yeah, and just wanting to create the kind of work environment that we always wanted to work in as employees. I mean, we've worked at a lot of different places and learned what we like, what we don't like, and we really try to implement that in our business and provide our crew, who are all stars, a environment where they're happy to come into work every day. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to wake up dreading to go to work.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something I always wanted to have, and we try to provide that for our employees.
Well, so now we got to back up a little bit.
Right.
Because
Of course.
entrepreneurs, we just jump right into the work, right? So, Nicole, talk a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up? What kind of led you to where you crossed paths with this guy?
Yeah.
And then Sheldon, we'll do the same with you. Kind of give the listeners a flavor for where you guys came from and what got you here.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Woodinville, so just a hop and skip and a jump away.
Local girl.
Exactly. So I ended up grew up my whole life around here. My dad is super mechanic guy, so always been around cars and stuff like that. Really enjoyed the outdoors, big hiking, camping family. And so once I went off to college, that's where I ended up meeting Sheldon, and we kind of touched bases when he had just come back from hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, which is from Mexico to Canada. And he was in the group of friends, and I got into climbing and skiing, and we kind of just connected on that. And we're like, hey, we seem to be interested in the same things. Let's go do this together sometime. And so it took, after a ski season together of having some really good times, we ended up started dating and kind of just living this life of climbing, skiing, hiking, adventures, just kind of been kids in a playland of the Pacific Northwest. We're so drawn to Index and the Cascades. We spend all of our time there. It's just been, this is home to us. This is, like I mentioned, we went to Colorado and stuff, and we've always come home here.
Nicole, what was your work experience through that period of time?
Yeah, so I've worked all sorts of different jobs. When I was in college, I was working running a hydroponic greenhouse, actually out in Monroe.
Sure.
Then moved on over to a little bit of retail sales. Then went into insurance and customer service and sales and stuff like that. went to Colorado, became a ski instructor, went back to retail, so and then found my way here. So kind of, I've never said no to anything, probably to my own detriment, but I feel so fortunate to have tried all the different things.
You know, the retail environment, you've got some experience there. We've always told our kids that to work in that retail environment can really be beneficial for learning how to really interact well with human beings, with other people, right?
Yeah.
And so, did you find that to be the case?
100%. Yeah, just
very
being
difficult work, but
very difficult work, but also having the skills to be able to de-escalate a situation, how to understand that it's not treat people the way you want to be treated, treat people the way they want to be treated, and understand that might be different, that what they're searching for than what you think they're searching for. Having an open mind, being able to just have a conversation with so many different personality types, cultures, experience, age level is a huge tool that I feel like really set me up for a lot of success with what we do now, is just having a conversation, being able to be natural in a conversation, being able to be authentic in a conversation, but while still, you know, speaking with a customer service tone, being able to find a solution to whatever the problem is at the time, but doing it in a way that's personable.
Yeah, honoring to them.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, your turn, Sheldon.
Well, like
You're fortunate that you got to cross paths with her.
Oh, I know that. I pinched myself.
I love it.
Yeah, no, very, very fortunate in that after that first meeting, after I got home from hiking, we then didn't see each other for almost a year after that, and ran into each other again at a friend's place. And
I didn't even recognize him because you have to realize coming off of the Pacific Crest Trail, he was 110 pounds or something, and then got back to eating regular food, and a year later had his long hair and had no idea it was who he was.
Yeah, but I grew up, like I said earlier, around the construction industry from a very young age. We met at the University of Washington, and I was there for a few years, realized that that wasn't the path for me necessarily, and that I kind of felt like that was the path that I needed to go. And so took some time off to hike and kind of reevaluate my priorities and what I wanted to do in life, and found that I really enjoy being outdoors. I like working with my hands. I like seeing customers really happy with the product that they end up getting, and worked doing residential remodeling, was put in charge of several projects where I had other people working under me essentially. So learning how to manage deadlines, and if this happens then it affects all these things, and just the cascading effects, and really trying to deal with managing people, trying to get things done on a schedule and stuff like that has all been invaluable to learning how to do this. And then, like she said, we worked as ski instructors. I've been a climbing instructor. I've commercial fished up in Alaska, which, I mean, that is the hardest manual labor that I have ever done. And it was a great experience. Glad to do it once and get that experience. It's been a big thing in my family. So just understanding what my cousins and uncles went through. But not a career path that I would personally go into for myself, but fun when you're young to do for a season.
It makes for a good story too.
Exactly. You're out there at 3 a.m. in the dark in the waves pulling in fish, and you're like, who else is doing this?
Even on our worst days, we can always be like, well, at least we're not there.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So growing up in construction, seeing your parents flip houses, that's interesting all by itself, right? There's a knowing how to buy a property, and then what to fix, what to update, what to leave as it is. That's its own it's its own dynamic.
I think a big thing about that too is just being comfortable being uncomfortable. Because for me, I mean, we lived in the remodel projects, and I've lived in some pretty beat up houses when we first moved in, and tearing out walls and having stuff in metal cabinets so rats don't get into them and stuff, and just learning how to deal with being uncomfortable and realize it's not the end of the world, and it kind of spurs you on to getting stuff done. You're like,
Wow.
it's kind of on me to get out of this uncomfortable situation. What can I do to make it more comfortable?
Sure. Sure. There's a whole podcast right there. Right?
Yeah.
Just in that idea, right, of seeking out the uncomfortability,
Mm-hmm.
right? So many people are searching for something different than what they're currently engaged in
Mm-hmm.
because it appears from the outside to be more comfortable,
Yeah.
right? So that's awesome.
Definitely.
So you've done a lot within the construction arena, within the trades.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are making floors beautiful,
Yeah.
right? How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, I started with, I was just looking for a job on Craigslist, found a job in the industry doing the installation, and did that for quite a while. Like I said, really enjoyed the work, and it was a business model that it was relatively simple. It's not all encompassing. It's not a giant start to finish, you're building a home or something like that. It was kind of niche enough that we could focus in on something without having to hire people that know every aspect of the trades or something like
Sure.
that. You're able to really build a team that specializes in floor coating. So that's all we do. We just do floor coatings. I found that the more things you try to do, the more hats you try to have your employees wear,
Yeah.
oftentimes the quality falls because people can't be experts in every aspect of the trades or anything
Sure.
like that. So really just focusing in and just doing the best floors we can do has been our route to success so far, and I think it's worked really well.
And as far as flooring is concerned, the residential, of course. I know you guys do commercial work as well. Have you always kind of done both? Did you start out focusing on one versus the other?
I mean, we started out like didn't say no to anything. So it was kind of, we thought it was going to be mostly residential, and then quickly realized that there was a huge market for commercial work as well.
Yeah.
And so kind of for us, it was like, we need to match this. And I think also speaking to kind of like your early days and stuff, what I was hearing coming, like, Sheldon would come home from the day, loved the experience of being able to complete a project in a day, loved working in that environment and everything, but consistently wasn't happy with the product that you were using and the consistency in the product itself and installations, and just who we are as people. We really do take ownership and pride in that product. And so to have you even come home and working for another company and being like, this could have been better. And how do we bring this to the market where we live, where we know there's other products out there? Should we go find these premium products and bring them to our hometown? And we kind of took a step back, looked at this market as a whole, and we're like, this needs this. Like, there's a bunch of these other companies, but there's nobody who is truly looking at the flooring as a premium item and making sure that they're using the best possible products for that.
Sure.
And so we wanted to come in as, we're not your one-stop shop. We are flooring experts using the best quality products on that we can even purchase. Super duper proud to be a dealer for Pentec. Cannot be any more ecstatic about that partnership, and bringing that to our customers and to this area has been huge for us. And so, like you were saying about the commercial and stuff like that, again, thought it was going to be residential, but just even being a part of Pentec and stuff too, they have a whole commercial line of everything. So the fact that we're able to even offer that, nobody else can offer. Most people don't offer that around us. So we just became the go-to people right off the bat because we can offer it. And so that was kind of a learning curve, but something that was really cool to kind of be like, okay, this is something we need. Like, we need to step up to the plate and be that person.
Yeah, and finding Pentec when we were doing our research into kind of what products we wanted to work with, it's been the biggest blessing. I mean, we're not a franchise or anything like that, but they provide franchise level support. So we have monthly meetings. There's a network of 200 plus dealers across the nation who I can hop on a phone call with, and they can answer any questions, kind of steer you in the right direction. And that is invaluable. And as well as Nicole's saying, Pentec is constantly innovating, releasing new products, updating their products, so that we truly are ahead of the curve and able to offer things that other companies in the area might not be able to offer.
Love that.
Yeah.
So garages, of course, and residential. Talk about where else, especially residential, but where else might someone have a coating?
We found auto shops. That's a big one.
Automotive shops?
Yeah, automotive shops, doing oil changes, stuff like that. You need a nice, durable floor where it's easy to spot things, easy to clean, good chemical resistance when you're spilling all sorts of harsh chemicals on the floor. You don't want it eating away your coating or anything like that. Swim schools. What else? Church congregation, worship rooms. I mean, really, the possibilities are endless. Anywhere there's a concrete floor, putting a coating on it's really going to enhance the space, make it easier to clean. It's not going to stain or anything like that. And I mean, your garage, if you got a plain concrete floor in there, no matter how much you sweep that thing out, it's gonna be dusty.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Being able to put a coating down, walk out there barefoot, mop the floor, and just have a nice clean space that really looks aesthetically a lot more pleasing than just plain old concrete too is great.
It seems like with the number of people working from home, right? That remote, it seems like expanding, into some of these areas where normally they're just, places where we drop things.
Exactly.
And garages are certainly there. But I've seen some garages that have been built out, and they're livable spaces now that are really attractive. And it starts with the floor. At least in my view, it starts with the floor. Any other spaces? I mean, certainly the shop and things like that. But
residential, I would say, like front walkways, front steps, patios, pool decks, driveways. A really amazing thing is we're able to customize the texture within the coating. So we've done, front steps for senior care facilities and stuff where we need to make sure that is a slip resistant space that's safe for people to walk on in all different conditions. So being able to provide something that's super texture and give them that safety is amazing. Same for driveways, even airplane hangars and stuff, airplane hangar driveways, but mostly like front walkways, patios, pool decks and stuff like that, and driveways. It's really, Yeah,
and having a manufacturer working with Pentec, they stand behind their products, so we're able to offer a manufacturer-backed lifetime warranty on all of our residential coatings. So they produce all their stuff here in the USA, in Minnesota. It's all under one roof. There's only 4 people who are able to mix up the chemicals basically and create the coatings. And so they have a stockpile where they track all the batch numbers. When we're installing these floors, we're writing down the batch numbers of all the chemicals, all the flakes, everything like that, so that if anything ever does go wrong, they're able to trace it back to the source, evaluate why that happened, and make changes so it doesn't happen in the future. And they are just great to work with. They've got your back, and it's just amazing.
I think that transparency is the big thing that has been a huge value to us, and the fact that, like, we went back east to the manufacturer's facility, our installers went back east to the manufacturer's facility. There's there's nothing off limits to us. We're able to see every step of the process. I can call up a chemist and be like, hey, I had this experience. My installer had this experience out on this job. The temperature was this. The slab temperature was this. What do you suggest? And we're actually able to get on a call with a team of several people who are different, steps along the manufacturing point, but to be able to have that level of support and even just investment and curiosity in that experience, like that is unheard of in the industry. This is the only business and manufacturer that is doing anything like this. And so the fact that like we'll go out and do, even for a residential coating project, a garage, we'll send you the technical data sheets on all the products that we would use for your project. Transparency is king for us, and we really feel like an extension of Pentech in that regard.
Sure.
We want to make sure that you're getting the same exact customer service through us as you would with them as well. And so that's just been really huge to be with somebody that shares that value as well. It's just, couldn't be happier.
It really empowers you to represent the company
100%.
really, really well.
And also still not being a franchise, but having that level of support. Like we came up with our name, we're Cascade Concrete Coatings. We're not Pentech of Woodinville or anything like that.
Sure.
So being able to really create your own company, your own culture, while still having that level of support from a national manufacturer is great. And they will guide you as much as you want, but there's no set guidelines as far as how you need to run your business or anything, because different markets operate differently, and we talk to dealers all across the nation, and what might work here for marketing doesn't work there.
Sure.
So it's always a learning process and figuring out really how to tailor your approach towards your local market.
Yeah. So you guys have done a lot of things in your background, kind of led you to this entrepreneurial journey. You found a manufacturer that you really believe in, and they've empowered you guys to really represent them well. One thing that you mentioned earlier, and often I might say, is culture.
Mm-hmm.
And culture seems to be, this work environment that we create as entrepreneurs for the people that we bring on to the team is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Why do you think that's so important?
I think one of the biggest things is employee retention is huge. I don't understand how so many people don't understand the value in maintaining your employees' happiness and not having that turnover. It's just you're able to provide a much more consistent product if you have the same people that know how to work with it and they've been in the industry for a few years. And we've always realized that work-life balance is huge. I mean, we're doing concrete coatings, we're doing garage floors,
Right.
but all of our employees, ourselves included, we have lives outside of the business.
Sure.
And it's not fair to expect your employees to put their whole life on hold outside of work
Sure.
to kind of help your company. So we do a 4-day work week for our guys. They have 3-day weekends every weekend.
Okay.
Love that. And they're happy to work here.
They work hard, and we
Yeah, they work
really
very-
try to see that, value that, and basically make sure everybody feels seen. I mean, the us valuing them and making sure they got snacks loaded in the car and making sure people are actually have lives out, that's just the cherry on top at this point.
Sure.
Like, people at the end of the day, they just want to feel like you actually see them and see their work and how well they do. And it's we would love to be the people that change the trades in the direction of valuing people's employees and just getting to a place where we can understand what goes into their day and just see that, value that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think me coming from an installer background and realizing what actually goes into a day's work and into a project, it's not easy work. There's a reason we run a 4-day work week.
Sure.
They are out there busting their butts, getting this stuff done, rain or shine. I mean, it's not easy, and trying to do that 5 days a week would be pretty taxing on people, I think.
Yeah. And if it were easy, there'd be a lot more people in the space, right?
Exactly.
So you guys have chosen a difficult line of work, and but you see the value of creating an environment for your team that is conducive to them having a life outside of work.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as you grow, which I'm assuming growth is certainly on your mind, you want to be able to serve more clients.
Yeah.
Talk about the service area. Where do you guys serve right now, and how do you see that changing?
Yeah, I'd say right now we just recently moved into a new warehouse that we're turning into kind of a warehouse / showroom for clients to come out to see different finishes and stuff like that. That's over in Woodinville.
Okay.
Typically we'll go about up to an hour and a half outside of Woodinville, so kind of the greater Seattle metropolitan area.
Sure.
Not quite as far south as Tacoma, but the Snohomish region, we do a lot of work out here. A lot of people with big workshops and stuff like that need a coating, and occasionally if it's a big project or something like that, we'll make it over to the east side of the mountains, but
Sure.
kind of rare. As we grow our business though, I think possibly expanding our region a little bit might be in the cards.
You're not at all apprehensive about going to where the snow is, considering you guys like to ski.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? I know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like we do have the Cascades, and they do separate us a little bit.
Sure.
And there's quite a big clientele in Leavenworth and Chelan and areas like that. And so that has been something we've kind of toyed around with, the idea of possibly in the future doing like a summertime crew over there to help out with those areas, because that is something that there are some just slightly separated groups of people that just don't have people that can make it out to those spaces. So right now, there's a lot of people here. Really more so growing for us would be managing our schedule and just getting to people faster.
Sure.
Eventually, maybe we'll look out to expanding our service area, but right now, number one, putting down just fantastic floors, making sure that the time is spent to do a 10 out of 10 job for our clients every single day. Past that, just making sure that we've got the manpower to be able to give everybody that experience. No matter how busy we are, we want to make sure that the customer experience stays the same.
That's a big deal as far as I'm concerned, because there's lots of companies out there that can put down a floor coating.
Exactly.
Right? And maybe even there's a few of those that have got a product that performs well here. Right? But the overall experience that they have with you during that project, even though it's just a day, needs to be excellent.
Yeah.
And again, when we're going out on consultations at sites like that, we're not there to sell you a floor. We're really there to provide you all the information that you could possibly need in order to make an educated decision. And I feel like if you do your research, if we've done our job well, you'll arrive at the conclusion that working with us really is the best option.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because we see that this is an investment in your home. We understand that sometimes people don't have just the check to be able to write, and so understanding that it's an investment for somebody, and if we're putting these coatings down, they're going to be there 40 to 50 years down the line. Yeah. So making sure that you know exactly what you're getting, and again, like Sheldon was saying, we really are concrete coating consultants. Yeah. We aren't Cascade Concrete Coating sales team. Like, we're telling you about what this industry and what this product is as a whole. We make it our job to educate ourselves on our competitors' products so that we can talk about these things, so that we can compare things with you. I tell everybody, here's our technical data sheets. Please ask for these if you're getting any other competing bids, bring them to us. We will sit down, we'll take the time, we'll compare them side by side. But at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that you feel like you know exactly what you're getting and what you're getting into. And so I think, and that just goes so far with people.
Well, it's important. Yeah, you guys you're extending that transparency that you get from the manufacturer right on to your clients, so you've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
So you guys come out, you do a floor for me. There's a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is now an opportunity for you as an organization to shine.
Yep.
Exactly.
So kind of talk me through that. What does that look like?
I mean, I always say, I know some people, the second they're like, oh gosh, somebody's got a problem, like alarm bells, this is not good.
Right.
For me, I really like to switch that attitude around and be like, what an amazing opportunity to create a lifelong client.
Right on.
Because that person, how many times have they probably gone and had a problem and the contractor changes their number, or it's really hard to find them now, or they're going to tell them, actually, you're crazy. It's not, there's no problem. And so, you know, the second, all too common.
It was designed to look like this.
Exactly. And it's just like, and you would be so surprised some of the things that people will say.
Sure.
So where I find, you know, the second we get that text being like, hey, Nicole, I'm seeing this, da 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 da, instant validation. I see you. That is not how that is supposed to be working.
Sure.
When's the earliest time that's convenient for you to have me and Sheldon come out and look at this? Let's get on the floor. Let's look at this. Great. Okay. This is our solution. Are you able to have the crew in here? We're going to move our schedule around. We're going to get them in here next week, and let's get you set up. Because during that process of the initial consultation, we've talked through all the information. We let you know exactly what you were getting. We talked through all these different possible things, and we probably touched on that this could possibly be something that came up.
There we go, yeah.
And so now we're following through with what we said previously.
Yeah.
And showing you just how important you are. Like even though the check has been, deposited, that's your value to us is still full. Like we still want you to be really happy because we want you to tell your neighbors that you're happy. We want you to tell your all your friends that are coming over. So that's been huge for us. And truly, anybody, there's honestly like one or two people that have had a problem. And I mean, those people have become lifelong clients because they have been like, nobody has ever treated me this way. And nobody has ever taken this and made it such an important thing for them as well.
Yeah, I'd say that's another great thing about working with Pentec. Like when I worked in the industry as an installer, I was hired to work and given absolutely zero training by any manufacturer, by the company I worked for, just thrown out onto the job and kind of expected to figure it out. Lo and behold, that leads to issues if you aren't trained properly.
Of course.
So Pentec, they've got a national certified dealer training program where in order to warranty their products, your installers have to go out there and complete this course where you learn how to replicate the process, and it's step by step. As long as you follow kind of all the steps properly, 99% of the time, that coating's not going to have any issues. So being able to just have something that's easily replicatable, everybody's on the same page, there's no real figuring it out. It's kind of, this is how it should go. And as long as you follow these steps, really, it's just like painting. The prep work is a huge part of the process, and making sure that prep is done right is going to ensure that that coating goes down properly and is there for decades.
That's awesome. Love that. So I want to switch gears just a little bit. There's, we spent decades telling kids to go to school, get a good education, and go find your passion. Right. What advice would you give to students who, they're juniors or seniors in high school and they don't really know what they want to do next? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it always felt like the path was after high school, right to college, and then a career of some sort. My dad's worked for Boeing for 35 plus years, and so that kind of always felt like the traditional route to go get a degree, then work for some large company in business or who knows what. But really just realizing that that's not the only option out there. The trades are a fantastic opportunity for people, especially these days. I mean, there's a huge lack of people that are going into the trades, and it's very satisfying. It's a lot of times something when you're done for the day, you truly are done for the day. You're not worried about deadlines or anything else, or you'd have people emailing you after hours about this needs to get done tomorrow. It's kind of pack it up where you left off for the day, come back the next day, everything's how you left it. You can dive right back in, and there you go. And I think just empowering kids to realize that, I mean, if your parents necessarily like think this is the right direction to go, being able to speak up for yourself and realize that that's not something that you're as interested in. It's not the only route to being successful or doing something like that. I mean, you can start something of your own. Look around, see what do people need in the area. What do you enjoy doing? How can you marry the two things together to provide some sort of service for your community that you enjoy doing and that's lacking in the area? And I think there's countless opportunities like that. And the first one you choose might not be the right one, but all you can do is try. And if it doesn't work out, pivot and figure out something else.
Awesome. Nicole?
I mean, I think you hit on a lot of really good ones. I mean, I think understanding that we live in a system where you're supposed to make a very, very big decision for your life in a very early on phase. And I didn't know what concrete coatings were back then. I didn't know I could create this kind of career path. And I think just being open to experiences, being open to being uncomfortable, like you were saying too. I think also going against the status quo in an educated way can be really helpful. You know, I can't say that as a, how old were we? Like 23 going off to Colorado. And, I had friends that were in college getting themselves set up, and I had a lot of guilt of like, what am I doing here? Am I doing something that is worthwhile? Am I really dilly-dallying around here? And being able to give myself the grace to experience life, experience different areas to live in. I have a little brother who's not so little. He's 23 right now. And my biggest thing that I've always told him is, you get that random experience offer, take it. Take it. Do not, you can always go back. You can repeat a class. You can, the opportunities will be here. Go experience life, throw the dart at the dartboard with your eyes closed and just see all the different things so that you can make a more educated decision on what fulfills you. And if you can find something that fulfills you, then you can make money at it. You'll be passionate enough to spend enough time into it and to make it work for you.
I'm an expert.
Exactly. So I just think, taste all the things, go live life, get the life experience, because that stuff too is going to pay itself forward later when you do find the career. I lean on those life experiences so heavily.
Some of the best education.
Exactly, 100%. Boots on the ground education, life experience education.
Meeting as many different kinds of people as you can. I mean, if you spend your whole life right where you grew up, you're missing out on a lot of perspectives, a lot of industries, a lot of just realizing that there's more stuff out there than what you've seen, and there always will be. So if you can travel, get out there, meet different people, I mean, you're going to learn about industries that you would never have had an idea that it even exists.
Absolutely.
So, I mean...
And we know this is a lot easier said than done, too. And that takes a lot of faith, and that takes a lot of self-conviction. And we're here for you. We want to be people that if anybody in our life ever came to us and was looking for advice or something like that, that we would, have open arms and would be willing to talk through anything and just understand that there are different perspectives. And I know it's really hard that when you're going through a system that's designed that way to only hear that one voice in your head that's that self-doubt, because I experienced that. So understand that that's a very natural thing to hear, and that still doesn't mean that you shouldn't, keep yourself open to the world's experiences, because I closed myself off to the world and those experiences because I was scared.
We all
and
right.
Exactly.
Our biggest limiting factor to each one of us is between our own ears.
100%.
There's just it's demonstrated in so many ways, right? What could you accomplish if the chance of failure was zero?
Yeah, I think it really does boil down to make yourself uncomfortable, go against the grain. You don't know what's going to happen, but the best things come out of stuff like that. And if you just spend your life comfortable and in those parameters that you've grown up in, you're shutting yourself off to a whole world out there of things that at first it's very scary, and you aren't going to know what you're doing, but
nobody else does either, though. You find out that everybody else is in the same boat, figuring it out too, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually not alone, and we're all just figuring it out.
And just because something's hard doesn't mean it's bad. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Well, a couple more questions, and then we'll kind of wind this down. Sheldon, you know Nicole better than anybody, right? What would you want listeners to know about her that they might not otherwise know?
She is going to stop at nothing to make sure that our customers are happy, and I think that's a great balance.
It is
for us to have, because Nicole will go above and beyond for even the smallest projects that a lot of our competitors and stuff might be like, we have bigger projects, bigger fish to fry, I can't spend this amount of time with this small client, but that Nicole will go to the end of the earth to make custom sample boards for no matter the size of the project.
That's awesome.
You want the best customer experience possible.
Sure.
Truly, Nicole makes that happen. And I've learned a lot from that. And just the patience with, a lot of times it gets really into the weeds with, I like an 1/8 teaspoon of holographic glitter versus I like a 1/4 teaspoon of holographic. It's minute details that to the average person might not be that important, but for that client, this is very, very important, and Nicole recognizes that, doesn't belittle anybody for having these very nuanced opinions or anything like that, and I think does an excellent job of just making people feel heard and knowing that we're gonna make things happen the way they want it to.
That's very cool.
Thanks.
What should our followers know about this guy?
Sheldon is obsessed with details.
Wow.
It's amazing thing that you have. It's why dinner would never get on the table at an appropriate hour, but it is why floors look amazing. You're obsessed with perfection. Truly, you put your heart and soul into what you do, and I think that your work really says it all. You can tell. That somebody really took a fine tooth comb and went through it. So.
Well, and when you're working on someone's home, your level of detail needs to be above theirs.
Exactly, because you know that homeowner is going back through with a magnifying glass.
Of course.
So, and I think that all speaks to both of those things. We are a premium level coatings company. You're going to get premium level service. You're going to get a premium level product, and we're going to make sure that that happens across all the boards.
Well, and this is your home.
Yes.
Right.
These are our neighbors.
These
are our friends.
You're in community with them.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times we go to somebody's house and we strike up a conversation about the skis that are being hung in the garage, and we ski at the same area. Oh, well, this is what I wear, so I'll see you up there. And constantly there's stuff like that, and you just realize, it's so fun, and you just realize that we're so much closer than we all realize.
There we go.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we really want a happy client.
Yeah.
It pays dividends. You don't want people out there that are unhappy with the product you put down. And I mean, recently we just did a project for Homeward Pet Adoption Center in Woodinville.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And originally they've been fundraising for 6 months trying to get up the funds.
Sure.
Had fundraised quite a bit, and we'd given them several different bids for several different options.
Sure.
And they ended up going with one that we felt really was not the best for the animals in the space, but it was the cheaper option. And so we wanted these animals to be happy in there, the puppies on a nice floor, not slipping around. And so we made it happen for them and put down the system that we thought they needed for the price of the other system. And I mean, just going in there, seeing the volunteers in there with the dogs and stuff, and it's easy to clean. Like, for us, that's huge. And they'll come back to us and they'll tell people that what we did for them, and that's just
but just to know that we were able to provide exactly, we were able to provide that. Like, they deserve that. Their work that they do there is just phenomenal, amazing. Anything we could do to help support any of their work was just a no-brainer.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, last question. You're going to dinner tonight. Where are you going?
Ooh.
I know. I'm going to the Walla Walla Steakhouse. That place is amazing. We had our company party there actually last year.
I love it.
It blew me away. Best steak I've ever had there. Filet mignon is amazing, and it's very conveniently located. We can walk there from our place, and the service, excellent. We had a waiter last time we were there who'd worked at several high-end steakhouses in the area, and unabashedly told us that if you're going to order anything on the menu, their filet mignon is better than...
It's the one.
It's the one. He's like,
and we don't go and eat out. We're not there yet.
No. Like I said,
but when we do, man,
I dialed it in for you. Right? You're going to dinner tonight. Where are you going? Walla Walla Steakhouse in Woodinville.
No, for sure.
That's fantastic.
That or Beardsley's.
Yeah, that was going to be mine. I was going to say Beardsley's
Beardsley's.
probably. Yeah, it's
fun.
delicious. And then afterwards, we're going to the Snohomish Pie Company.
Right?
Without a doubt, that pie is there on our table for every holiday.
Yeah, the Northwest Berry.
Oh my God,
I love
so
it.
good.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
So shout out.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said earlier, I've been looking forward to this time to visit with you guys, probably from the moment I met you. And you haven't disappointed at all. Matter of fact, I tell my wife, there's very few things in life that the more you learn about them, the more you like what you see. And she's one of them, my wife.
Good.
And 37 years later, I'm learning stuff about her all the time. And again, the more I learn, the more I like what I see. You guys are the same. You're in that category.
Feel that way about Nicole.
So you guys keep doing your thing. Keep serving this community. We're so appreciative of you doing that and doing it in the way that you do, with the heart that you do it with. It makes, it really makes living and raising a family and working in Snohomish awesome. Yeah. And we think you guys are part of that. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for building this community of
Yeah.
like-minded business owners and stuff to network with. I mean, it's invaluable.
Yeah. We really, really appreciate all the work you guys have done.
We're loving it very much.
It's an awesome family.
Thank you guys.
Right on.
Thank you.
All right. Well, awesome.